everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. It is Wednesday, our third review of the week. I hope you tuned in, enjoyed our WWE review of Bash in Berlin, our AEW All In review, and tonight we are doing New Japan Strong with Capital Collision. Thank God this year was only a one-night affair. But before we get started, let us take care of a few housekeeping things. With me once again, we have Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, everything in between. We dropped an Alien review not too long ago, so make sure you go and check that out. There's a few other fun surprises coming out on his channel. I'll leave the links in the description box below. Give him a follow, but before you do, make sure you click on that little like button. Make sure you subscribe on this channel. Help us grow. 350 before the end of the year. It's doable, guys. Let us do it. But with that out of the way, let us get right into the review. This year, the pre-show, Capital Collision from Washington, D.C., New Japan Strong. This year, they did not televise the pre-show.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to watch the pre-show. Because...
No, we didn't. It's the same pre-show we got the last 3 times.
Yeah, but Mina was on the pre-show.
Okay, I'll give you that. But the guys match is the same two guys that fight each other every match.
It's the same, yeah. But we had Hanako and Mina Shirakawa against Trisha Dora and Viva Van.
Yeah, and
that would have been a fun match to watch.
Like, I want to look at Viva Van, but I don't want to watch that match, really.
Yeah, but I want to watch Mina Shirakawa wrestle. She's one of the best female talents out there right now. Probably the most over, at least.
In Japan.
Yeah.
Allowed.
But those are the 2 pre-show matches. We know the results there. So we'll get right into our main card.
Can you tell us who won?
Well, Matt Vandergriff won. They've been pushing him for the last year and a half, only on pre-shows. Hasn't challenged for anything yet.
Exactly.
So we'll see what they do with him. And Empress Nexus Venus, Hanako, and Mina Shirakawa won that match. So let us go to the main card. We have TMDK members Bad Dude Tito and Robbie Eagles against the Grizzled Young Vets against Ishii and Tanahashi.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Can we just skip this one?
I mean, when TMDK and the Grizzled Young Vets were in the ring, it was good.
You had 6 good wrestlers in the ring. 5.5. And the match as a whole, I found
lackluster.
It wasn't bad, but it got boring because for some reason, New Japan Strong just doesn't understand how to film clusterfucks. Like, they're really bad at cutting to what you're supposed to see.
Yep.
And I just started to make this match really boring. And then the fact that Tanahashi wins the match.
Yes. Why? Why though?
I know why. Because they want Tanahashi thinks that he's the ultimate putover. Or he's trying to win these belts.
But he doesn't book Strong.
But maybe he's the president of New Japan. He does whatever he wants.
Okay, yeah. He probably
Rocky
has
Romero's
influence with Rocky. Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Like,
Rocky's
on paper,
probably like,
I'm not upset about this.
Come on.
I'm not upset about this on paper.
No.
It's just, it seems so weird to me. I understand that they're in another match later, but West Coast Wrecking Crew is still not part of winning the tag belts that belong to the company where they're the only tag team.
Agreed.
Well, now there's 2, but I'm okay with it. I would have liked
those two fight later on tonight.
I would have liked to see Grizzled Young Vets win the belts.
Yep.
I know this is not for the belts, but I think that would be a good step for them. Or Robbie Eagles winning anything in New Japan would be nice.
Yeah, like he's floundering.
Then, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings to see Ishii get something. So
but
it's
then again,
like,
you have to give another. But the thing is, to get Ishii to cement his legacy, you have to give Tanahashi another belt, and they are still the never open 6-man tag champs.
It's the vortex that we don't. This is the Tanahashi vortex.
Yes, instead of the Chris Jericho.
It's worse than the Jericho vortex, in my opinion.
Because Tanahashi keeps putting himself over when he thinks he's putting other people over.
And this is something I want to say, and I mean this in the rudest way possible. Okay, Chris Jericho is still a very, very capable wrestler, and you can have, with the right person with him, can have an excellent match.
Yep. Agreed.
Tanahashi has had one good match in this run of presidency.
Yeah.
And it was a match where he was a 3-on-3, and he was barely part of it.
And he was barely part of it. But in the end, in case you haven't figured it out, Tanahashi and Ishii are not your new champions, but they're your winners, and they will face the champions.
I don't know. It really boggles my mind when you looked at it in one corner is maybe one of the highest ranked in the underappreciated tag teams tier
in
because
terms of grizzled young
in the
vets.
in the world of and then the other corner you have Robbie Eagles, who's one of the
Yeah,
best
it's
light
juniors.
juniors in the whole world. So and against
Yeah,
two really old guys.
a
I mean,
man with
Bad
no
Dude
neck and
Tito
a man with
exists.
no knees.
Yeah, I mean, but I love Tanahashi. I mean, I love
Ishii.
Ishii. I don't love Tanahashi anymore. I respect
No,
what you did.
I respect what you've done, but get over it.
Yeah.
This is like those. Except he's not on the indies. It's like watching like all those 80s wrestlers in the late 90s, early 2000s when they were still like when what's his name? Like when Honky Tonk Man was still wrestling on the indies, or when Greg Valentine was still on the indies. Like you guys are like, get over it.
Tanahashi is now he's the Bob Backlund. All right.
Yes.
But
He's gonna start wearing a little bow tie with those little ass pants that he can't.
yeah, I'm sorry. He came up. Wasn't he on a New Japan Strong show once? Bob Backlund as
Yes, he
somebody's
was.
like valet or something.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Fred Rosser.
Oh, there you go. But Tanahashi now to me, like I've gone back and watched a lot of things and since like we talk a lot of shit. It's just, I gotta have some backup. He's the Triple H of New Japan. He's
When Triple H was,
serviceable.
yeah,
He'll
when he
have
was
a good
booking,
match.
yeah,
He's good enough. Like their skill, his
yeah,
career record speaks for itself. But
of
at the
course
end of
it
the
does.
day, they're not one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. They're
No,
overrated in the sense of how high up they're ranked.
in terms of like what they did, in terms of talent and what they did, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Like the talent to win ratio is like way off for both. And
Yeah,
I think
because
I've
when he
realized
came,
that.
when Tanahashi came up, legend as he is, he had no really. New Japan was
He's
at an all-time
his
low.
talent, even at his peak, was never in a caliber
A Nakamura
with
or
Nakamura or
Naito.
Shibata.
Yeah,
Like
Naito's a
Shibata
little later.
still
Yeah.
goes harder than Tanahashi.
Oh yeah.
He had
And this is a
like
broken
an
freaking neck.
FTW match.
Yes. But let's move on to the next match. Rocky Romero, Yoshihashi, and Kevin Knight against Bullet Club members Finley, Connors, and Maloney.
Tell me how you felt about this match.
I didn't care.
I thought it was a bad match.
Yeah, I didn't care for this match. Like, I just didn't. Like, I can agree with you. This wasn't a good match.
It was
like,
way too long. Rocky
mhm.
Romero booked himself to look cool, not
Yeah.
even to look like a good wrestler. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
The booking was just for him to have these weird spots where he looked
was in the
cool.
match. He was in the match the longest.
All he was doing was posing for like the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, 12-minute match. That's all he did.
Like, he's hugging the girls on the side.
Yeah.
He has a music video for his new song that he made with the girls in the video. Like, come on, man. Rocky, I love you, but like, what is happening?
And this is when you had a young talent like Kevin Knight. You could have put him over so huge.
He's Rocky Romero
is Tanahashi.
Is full Tanahashi-ing. I noticed it from the way they're booking him on AEW. Even though he's losing, he still has to look cool in the matches.
Yeah.
But this match was way too long.
Yeah, even though Kevin Knight does get the pin, but I really didn't care for it.
I love Kevin Knight.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kevin Knight. And shout out to Yoshihashi for just always existing.
Yes. So we'll go into our next match. Dirty Work. Tom Lawler and Fred Rosser against the West Coast Wrecking Crew in the feud that never ends.
I actually had fun with this.
This was a good match. Don't get me wrong.
I would hesitate to be like,
end this feud.
Yeah, it needs to end because I need West Coast Wrecking Crew to win the goddamn titles.
To cement themselves. Yes.
They're the only tag team. And they've had good matches. Like realistically,
they are, as much as they're heels, they're the Cinderella team. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of thing. Like
they fall into a category for me of tag teams that's different than where the Grizzled Young Vets fall. So the Grizzled Young Vets are in a category of, we know they're good, but in the grand scheme of like the Young Bucks and everything, they belong somewhere in the upper tier, but they're not getting that credit.
Upper mid card.
Teams like what are they called? Gates of Agony or whatever they're called, and West Coast Wrecking Crew are really good tag teams that have really good matches all the time, but they're not given any credit, period. they don't belong in the upper tier, but they're like, for some reason, they're being held down to being jobbers, and I
Yeah.
don't understand that.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of shameful, but
They're like the street profits of WWE.
yeah, that's exactly it. They're like the Street Profits. Always have good matches, always have entertaining matches, but have never won the big
Yeah,
match.
and I put them in that regard for the reason that people talk about grizzled young vets a lot. In
Hmm.
WWE, when there's not a main event scene involving street profits, nobody remembers that they exist.
I until you mentioned them today, I forgot about them because
Yeah,
Bobby
there you
Lashley's
go.
gone and they
Yeah.
haven't been on TV.
Well, the rumor is, I'll just throw this out there since we're already on it, is
Hmm.
I don't know where they're going. I really hope it's not AEW. I'd love it to be somewhere in
Who,
Japan.
the Profits?
No.
Lashley
Apparently Bobby Lashley,
and MVP.
MVP, and Omos are going to team up and continue doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I heard it's AEW and having Ricochet part of that group as well.
Yeah, just don't. No.
Well, can you imagine Ricochet, Bobby Lashley, and Omos winning the
Let
trios
me
belt?
just get Omos versus what's the tall guy's name?
Satnam Singh.
Satnam Singh. That's what I want.
That'll be the worst match in the
I
history.
want the payoff though. Give me the payoff of showing me that Omos actually can wrestle because he's just stuck in WWE type wrestling, and then let the Satnam Singh had this whole 2 years has been leading to something, you know?
Yeah. It'll be like
Just
Giant
a Haas
Gonzalez
match.
versus like
Two
Kali versus Batista or
two
something.
gigantic guys who don't speak a lick of English.
Yes. Yes, please.
And get Bolton Oleg in there.
Yes. Because he's just as big. But in the end, West Coast Wrecking Crew does lose again.
Yeah,
As fun as this match
I like
was,
the finish though. The double door spot.
Yes, the double door spot was kind of cool. They teased it, so it's like, okay, like at least they paid it off. Because when they teased it at the beginning and didn't pay it off, I was kind of like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, couldn't we just get fucking Grizzled Young Vets versus TMDK, the real TMDK, not
yeah,
this put together tag team? That's
no,
what
but
match I wanted. I mean, I know I'm going back 2 matches, but
yeah,
like, I'm sorry.
no, yeah, it's not going to happen, not for a while. So Dirty Work does go over. West Coast Wrecking Crew loses yet again. The only real tag team in New Japan Strong loses again.
Are Grizzled Young Vets AEW?
They're free agents.
Okay, so because I think they should sign with New Japan.
They're freelance right now.
New Japan really could use that.
Yeah. So we'll go into our next match: Zack Sabre Jr. versus Teton. This guy's
match,
been all over the place.
This arguably is match of the night.
I was not expecting, like, I was expecting a good match, but I wasn't expecting this.
Teton is fantastic. He's
Yes.
so underappreciated. The match starts off kind of slow and left me in a place where like I'm like, oh no, this is gonna get really bad. But when they started like rolling each other over constantly and like switching the submissions, I was like, oh, I really like
and
this.
even Teton with like some like innovative submission type moves as well. It was like it was a fun match. It was a
one
great
spot
match.
though where I think you would also agree with this because the fans definitely agreed with this. He pinned him for a 3 count, but rolled himself out of it into another pin.
Yeah.
Like you could see Zack Sabre Jr. didn't even kick out. He just rolled himself into a new submission.
Yeah. It was pretty funny, but it was a great match. Probably one of the best matches on the show, if not the. Yeah. I think. Well, we'll talk about it later.
Did you catch the? Sorry, go say it.
No, but we'll talk about it later because there's another match on the show that I thought was really, really good as well. There's a couple matches.
I think there's one match we're going to disagree on big time.
Okay.
Did you catch the hint by Ian Fakabani?
No, what did he say?
Is there Ian Riccofoni? That one's better. I like that better.
Yeah.
He said, some guy with a really big checkbook and a huge TV deal should take a look at this guy when Teton was leaving this thing. And it's like, is that a hint that you're trying to tell AEW to sign Teton? By the way, they have no chemistry together, and this is the
still
worst.
Put on a great match.
No, not them.
Oh, Veda Scott, and
this is Stewart. The worst I've ever heard Veda Scott. Yeah, it was on a new level of
know why this was bad? You know why this was bad? Because we actually heard her on this show.
Yeah, I actually, not joking, I watched the main event on mute. I couldn't listen to her anymore. She oversells everything. Oh no, he's dead! Like, what are we watching?
Like, yeah, what are we pretty watching? Bad. She is
I've
pretty
been
bad.
in a trash can before. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about?
I remember that line.
What are we talking about?
I've been in a trash can before. What were you doing in a trash can, Beta? whatever.
She is a
But
wrestler, so
yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. does retain though, or
yeah.
not retain, but he wins. He wins the match.
Get Ian
And
Riccaboni back on these shows.
yes, the real Ian Riccaboni.
Yeah. Give me both versions and no Veda Scott.
And no Veda Scott. Yeah. But go on. Moving on. Naito versus TJP. Is this the match you said we're going to disagree upon?
I think so.
Why?
I thought this match was awful.
Really?
Like actually awful. And I have a lot, but I have a reasoning for why the match is the way that it is.
Okay.
Okay.
For me, this was a first time matchup. It was a great match. I mean, TJP was spectacular in this match. I liked like the whole, like even the comedy bits, like taking the t-shirt, giving it back kind of thing. I really enjoyed that. So what did you find that you didn't?
I thought the pacing of the match was too slow. I thought there was a long periods where nothing happened. And I realized what the purpose of this match is. So they really emphasized the damage done to Naito's leg.
Mhm.
And I think when he fights Great Khan, they're going to do that even more. So this way they have a reason to drop the belt to Zack Sabre Jr. because they want to push Sabre Jr. And I
Okay.
think they're realizing Naito just doesn't have the gas in the tank to be the guy to carry the company.
Company anymore?
And what they're going to do is these 3 matches are going to emphasize the damage on his leg. Like they're going to do Zack Sabre
Yeah.
Jr. for sure, right? And what they're going to do out of that is they're going to force him to change his finisher from Destino. And it's going to be because of these matches. That's what I think 100%
Yeah,
I
because
see that
he
happening.
win Naito does win the match, but he doesn't win it with a Destino.
Yeah. So I think that's what the purpose of this whole storyline is to for a reason to not make him not look bad, drop the belt, get Zack Sabre Jr. with the belt as the face of the company. And now
Okay.
you have a reason for him to change the Destino.
Yeah. Or after this, take some time off.
So storytelling wise, I didn't hate this match. I just
Okay.
found it so boring. The whole match, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is still." How long was it? Do you have a
Yep,
count
I
on
have a
it?
count. It was 15 minutes on the nose.
It felt like 39 minutes.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, though, every match on this card felt really long.
Yeah, there was not a single match that went over 20 minutes.
That's crazy.
That's why I said the show was under 3 hours. It
The
felt
Sasha
longer.
Banks match felt really long.
That felt like 45 minutes. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But in the end, Naito does win. But like you said, I don't know.
Listen, it's okay to disagree on it, right?
Yeah. They also made a
think we
point.
both have logical reasons.
They also made a point to mention in this match that they were saying TJP is not the leader of United Empire, but the captain.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. So who's the leader? Jeff Cobb?
I guess so.
I mean, what did they ever do with that weird white guy with the cane?
Caleb. Oh,
I can't remember his name.
Gilbert Godfrey. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. It's like Gilbert or something.
Yeah, is Gilbert something? Yeah.
But they do have a new member now, which I don't know who it is. I think they mentioned it, and I didn't really catch that.
Caleb Newman.
No, I can't remember what they said. Oh, some weird name.
Timmy's on it.
But yeah, I'll give you credit for this. The reasoning for me not liking this match were not the reasons you had for liking this match. So it's like that's a pretty fair.
Jacob Austin Young.
There you go, Jacob Austin Young.
Huh. Blair Davenport is a former member.
Well, yeah, because she was dating
at the
Will
time.
Ospreay.
Gideon Gray.
Gideon Gray. There you go. Gilbert. We were pretty close.
Gilbert Gideon, yeah. Okay, with the cane.
Butt scratcher.
Yeah. We'll go on to our next match. TMDK defending the strong openweight tag team championships against Henchi Seto and Virus. I did not realize how old Virus is. And he's a little dude. He looks like an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, he's pretty cute. This match was okay.
It was good. I enjoyed this match. Like Virus can still go at that age, which is surprising because it's heavy. It's like lucha style is more movement heavy, right? So it's harder on your joints and stuff.
I felt like this match wasn't bad at all. Like that's how I feel about this pay-per-view kind of generally, at least up to this point. It's not bad. It's entertaining enough. You're not going to watch any of these matches and be like, "Oh, this is
nothing blew me away
ever." But it's just okay. When this match ended, I was like, "Okay, I didn't need this match. I didn't ask for it, but I'm not upset that I watched it."
Yeah, pretty much that's what it felt like.
I mean, I did think the Naito match was awful.
Yes.
I will agree with that. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, but it was good for what it was. Like it just felt like this was a match thrown together because they needed a tag match.
They wanted to have CMLL on the card,
Yeah.
right?
And obviously at this point we knew TMDK were not going to lose. So after the match, guess who shows up?
Tanahashi and
Yeah,
Ishii.
and Ishii, and they're like, "We're the next champions!" Yay!
Yeah, we know that's gonna happen. Come on.
Yeah, he has to pad his
Who's
Wikipedia,
the
right?
regular tag champions?
I don't remember now.
I literally don't remember.
I know Maloney and Thing are still
Are
the
still juniors.
yeah. IWGP Timmy's on it. Do. Oh, TMDK.
Oh, they have both. That's
They're
right.
double champs. Yes.
I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could. I'm okay with them losing the strong titles then. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. Unless they're gonna change it up and make it for the.
No, don't do that. That's crazy. That's insane. Let Tanahashi and Ishii win the strong belts. Let them have their little moment, and then have them put somebody over. West
Okay.
Coast Wrecking Crew.
Yes, please. Or grizzled young vets.
Okay, I'll take that.
This way, grizzled young vets can face West Coast Wrecking Crew, so they can lose again.
Okay.
But TMDK does retain. So we are going to Hiromu Takahashi versus Mustafa Ali. If Hiromu were to lose, he would have to publicly say that Ali is the best junior heavyweight wrestler in the world.
I really like this match.
This was a very good match. They brought back Buff Daryl.
And spoilers, Takahashi wins. So we know we're gonna get a third match. And I'm down for that anytime you want.
Yes.
But make it at a real pay-per-view. Not another strong one.
No, this most likely may be at like not at just. I think this might be a King of Pro Wrestling because they really wanna. They're really pushing that new pay-per-view, right?
I mean, that is fine with me. I would like to see this in like a real venue, like at the Real Goku or something.
Yeah.
Korakuen Hall. I don't know where it's being held.
Yeah. But yeah, I would love to see that because that would be fantastic. I'll tell you in a second.
I'm surprised New Japan never uses Yokohama Arena.
Yeah.
Because like Noah uses it all the time and almost like has a pretty solid crowd show up.
It is going to be a big arena. It's at Rio Goku.
Okay, so I love Rio Goku. That's one of the best, my favorite venues actually.
Sumo Hall, yeah. So okay, so it is a pretty big, like not a big venue, but at least
it's better than like one of the little rinky-dink ones, like in the gymnasium.
Yeah, I mean it's a 20,000 seat arena, right?
Yeah, so it's pretty cute.
That's pretty cute. It's nice from the outside. It looks like an old temple.
That's acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. So Hiromu Takahashi, like you said, does win. It was a fantastic match.
There was some fun Daryl stuff.
Daryl stuff. Is this another Daryl because he was wearing a mask?
This is Daryl's son, I think.
Yes. It's always been Daryl's son.
Oh, it always has been Daryl's son?
Because this is Buff Daryl. This is
Buff Daryl. That's correct. And he did have a mask on, and they took the mask off, and everyone freaked out. Don't show the face of the TV.
Yeah. Even Riccofoni said, "Get a towel for him to cover his face."
Yeah. Even the crowd, every time he turned it towards the camera, they're like screaming.
So kayfabe's still alive.
Daryl's pretty much the greatest wrestler of all time. I'm waiting for Daryl to win the KOPW.
I'm waiting for a match between Daryl and Dino's blow up doll from
for the KOD Iron Heavy Metalweight. I'll take that. Absolutely.
And the broom against and Kenny Omega.
Daryl beats Kenny Omega.
I wouldn't be surprised. Kenny Omega will take that loss.
Kenny Omega did lose to a broom, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he lost to a broom, he lost to a blow-up doll, and he lost to a 9-year-old girl.
Oh yeah, that was a good match.
It was a very good match.
She's actually becoming a wrestler.
Yes, I heard.
So she's somebody's daughter, some wrestler's daughter.
Yeah. But going on, so we're gonna get a third match. I hope it's gonna be at King of Pro Wrestling and it's gonna be in a big arena, so this way we get a good match.
Yeah.
And Takahashi took this match a little bit more serious. He went into the first match. Remember, he was all jokey.
It was all comedy. This one was a lot less comedy to it.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how good Mustafa Ali actually is.
He's really good, man.
He is.
Once you leave the vacuum of WWE and you realize that how much potential you have in the world of wrestling. Like everyone liked Mustafa Ali the whole time. WWE just suppressed him, right?
Yeah,
They didn't want to push him, so his name kept getting pushed away, pushed away. But now that he's able to do what he wants, he's so popular.
yeah. But whatever. It is what it is. At least he's getting the recognition he deserves now.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad to be in WWE, but you have to be
No.
someone that they want to push.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not, you're screwed.
He, especially under Vince, he's too small for Vince. Vince never
Yeah.
liked the cruiserweights or the junior heavyweights, whatever you want to call them. So, but we'll move on. Gabe Kidd defending the strong openweight championship against Blackheart Leo Rush.
This match was really good.
Yeah, Gabe Kidd keeps improving. Like he's really starting to impress me.
I thought he was going to lose.
I thought so too. There were moments when I thought Leo Rush was going to beat him.
And
It would have been good
I
for Leo. I wouldn't have minded
yeah,
it.
and it's like I really I had like a thought process of like I mean I had to process it like logically like okay, but if Leo wins, that's good because they like Leo and Leo's
Mm-hmm.
popular and he's a really good wrestler. But Gabe Kidd is still just like at the beginning or the middle of
Of
this
his,
title run. So it's like, do we really want to take it from him yet?
yeah. And my question is too, he came in with different theme music. Is Gabe Kidd still part of the War
Yeah, they
Dogs?
mentioned it.
Okay. I missed that then. Okay. Because he's been away from like that whole thing for a while.
Yeah. He's doing his thing.
Yeah. But like you said, fantastic match. And in the end, Gabe Kidd does retain. I'm wondering what's next for Gabe Kidd.
I genuinely don't know. I thought it was weird that this wasn't the main event.
Because of who the main event is. They
Yeah.
paid a lot of money for her,
Oh, for sure they did.
right? So, but Gabe Kidd does retain. So with that, go on to our main event: Monet against Momo Watanabe. And I was kind of hoping Mercedes Monet would come out to her New Japan theme on this show. No, she came out that stupid CEO.
I think, like, we're not talking about the match yet. I think she needs to ditch that whole dancing around like a goofball thing.
That
It's
one?
not. It's the thing is, it's not like to me. It's not a wrestling move in the
No.
sense that like you doing that doesn't come off as like, oh, you're playing a character and you're wrestling. It just feels like you're a douchebag, like a real life douchebag,
Yeah.
and you think that this is so cool. You think you're so cool because you're doing this.
Yeah.
It's like, just why does no other women's wrestler dancing at their thing? I mean, there's a couple, but
Naomi does it.
like Mina Shirakawa does it, but
Yeah.
has like a dance routine, right? She's not just holding her hands up and
Because
like,
she's a former pop idol.
yeah. And it's just like, come on, I
And
don't
with
care.
Naomi, it's part of her glow. She used to be a former cheerleader, former dancer, right? So it's part
Yeah,
of
and
her
Sasha Banks
character.
just wants to be cool.
Yeah. She thinks she,
Which
my
I
mom
actually
says
saw.
I'm cool.
I saw a pretty like long random video that it just started playing when I didn't click off, like after a wrestling
Mm-hmm.
video about Sasha Banks and how if she had not been related to Snoop Dogg, she never would have made it in WWE. She
Oh,
would have
yeah.
had to go through all the indies, and with the skill set she had in the beginning, she never would have made it.
No.
I mean, I do think she ended up becoming a pretty decent
A
wrestler.
decent
So,
wrestler, but
but
like
it just
she
if
acts
she
like
had to go
she's,
through the process of all
but
like
she
earning it,
acts
it
like
never
she
would have
is the
happened.
best women's wrestler in the world
She's
right now.
not. She's not.
No, not
However,
even close.
this match was fucking miles ahead of the match against Britt Baker,
Oh,
which
yes.
makes me
But
think
is that
that
because of Momo?
is that because of Britt Baker? Is
Yeah.
Britt Baker the problem?
Britt Baker is the problem. We mentioned it in our AEW review where she was sandbagging Monet the whole time.
And she also, even on her offense, isn't very good.
No.
And I know you used to like her a lot, and you've kind of come around. I know Caps
Yeah.
is a big Britt Baker guy. I know a few people who are, and I just don't. I never saw the appeal of her,
Back then,
especially.
Britt Baker was the best talent in AEW in terms of women,
Yeah, and they
other
didn't
than
have a lot, right? You had
because other
Nyla
than
Rose.
Sheeta and Riho whenever she would show up.
Yeah,
But now, because of the talent that they have in the company, you have Mariah May, you have Deonna Purrazzo, even Nyla Rose has become a better wrestler than
Thunder
Britt Baker.
Rosa, Jamie Hayter. You have a lot
Yeah,
of good wrestlers.
yeah, it's
Willow's a banger, man.
yeah. Willow is awesome. I love Willow, but it's
Um,
like so the talent is there now. So it's like you're not.
but I feel like she falls into a category for me with What's the tall girl's name that's fighting Willow?
Statlander.
With Statlander, where they've both showed progression, but they're still not better than they were. And like they
Yeah.
learned more moves, but they haven't really become that much better of a talent. The difference is Statlander has the appeal of the power, right?
Yeah. Whereas
And
Britt Baker, she is very WWE showmanship type of
yeah,
wrestler.
it's all character, and
Yeah.
she can cut a good
No,
promo, sure.
but there's very little substance in the ring.
This match was really good. I thought
Mhm.
Sasha Banks really went, or when Mercedes Moné,
Yeah.
whatever, when she started
And
doing the
she's
meteoras in
part
the
of a new
corner.
faction, right? She's part of Techless fashion now, Momo,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Hate.
hate. It's an H and an 8, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and I think they have some kind of belts,
Yeah, they do. Tekla and Thing have the tag belts.
but Momo's up and coming big time, and
Hmm. They have a
they went
bunch of
hard.
belts,
There were
actually.
some really wicked spots when she
Yeah.
was kicking Mercedes in the corner, and Mercedes was taking the full power kicks in the Tree of
Hmm.
Woe. And then when they reversed it, and she was doing the meteoras over and over and over into the corner, like hard. And I was like, this is the Mercedes that I started to like, because
Hmm.
I've never been a fan of Sasha Banks, but in
No.
Japan, I slowly like saw her like really trying
Yeah.
to show that she can wrestle, and I was like, okay, you got it. And this match was like, how did we go
Yeah.
from all into this?
Yeah.
And I still
Literally
wouldn't. I'm not
in
going to
less than
pretend this was excellent,
in
but
5 days, but then again, Momo
three
is
pay-per-views in 3 weeks. Sasha
yeah.
Banks.
Which one else did she do?
All In is next weekend, or All Out.
All
All
Out.
In,
That's it.
this, All Out.
Oh yeah, yeah. So 3 in 2 weeks. Yeah.
3 weeks.
Basically within a 14-day period, she's doing
Yes,
three
within a
paper.
14-day period.
Yeah.
Correct. Um,
But
but
yeah, this was a better match. I'm not
night
saying
and
it was
day.
like, yeah.
I'm
So
expecting the Sheeta match to be really good now that I've saw after seeing this.
I'm thinking maybe Sheeta might win.
I don't think so. I
No.
think then I'll tell you why, because I think Jamie Hayter is gonna be the one who takes it. Sasha Banks
Oh,
is.
okay, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Maybe
that
you're right.
makes unless Hater goes to strong.
Maybe that happens.
Or Sheeta goes to strong.
Maybe that happens.
So, but we'll see. Anyway, but in the end, Mercedes Moné does win as we expected. She's not losing the belt anytime soon.
The one thing I really don't like is her finisher. I think it's one of the worst finishers in
Hmm.
wrestling, and it requires the other wrestler
To
to
sell.
lift
Not
up
just
their
sell,
own
but
legs and wrap themselves around you. Why would you
yeah,
do that? It's like looks so unrealistic. Like, why would I help you beat me?
yeah. But I don't know. It was an okay show. Wasn't anything too spectacular. Like you said, it was entertaining, but nothing really wowed me on
I
this.
certainly, even though I wouldn't score this that poorly, I wouldn't pay for this.
No,
The
no.
fact that they were chart you, I don't understand why I have to pay for New
$50.
Japan Strong, but I don't have to pay for New
New Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I'm falling with this one. I'm falling at a 7-1.
I'm gonna give it a 6-9.
Okay.
I wanted to give it a 7, but I just think at the end of the day, saying that I wouldn't pay for it, I gotta knock it down under a 7.
Okay. So you did like this better than
Oh, well,
Bash of Berlin.
there was 4 good matches to me. Leo Rush match was good. The the Sasha Banks match was good.
The Ali and
Yeah, Ali match was good, and Zack
Mhm.
Sabre Jr. was good. The other matches were all fine.
Right.
And we couldn't watch the pre-show, so that was like that
Yeah.
you're losing points for that, even though we don't rank the pre-show usually. The
Yeah.
fact that I couldn't watch it, like,
I'm losing points.
and then I really hated
The main event.
I hated the Naito match. I
Oh, the
didn't like
Naito
it,
match.
and that's my favorite wrestler, so that's telling you a lot.
But you're also holding him to a higher standard.
I just don't see the logic of doing these things.
Yeah.
Stop making champions wrestle people when we know there's zero chance that that person's going to win. There has to be at least the thought
Yeah.
that this, like the Leo Rush thing, we thought
Mhm.
Leo Rush was going to win.
Yeah.
Momo Watanabe almost won the title.
Hmm. Yeah. But with that out of the way, guys, let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this show if you did watch it. Make sure you go back if you haven't and watch our All In review, watch our Bash in Berlin review. And spoilers for that, There's putties in on that video, but that's not the point. All three of our scores are far apart. So go back and watch the video to see who scored what on that show. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. Tune in next week. Next week, we are going to have our TNA Emergence pay-per-view, our NXT No Mercy, and maybe if we could squeeze it in All Out as well. So make sure you tune in next week for that. Oh, and by the way, Kaito Kiyomiya has won the N1 tournament, so he's still champion. He's the N1 tournament, so I guess he's going to choose his
He's
opponent.
gonna fight himself.
Yes, he's going to fight himself. So, in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.